Hey, everybody. Welcome back to the Retain and Gain podcast. I'm Larry Bruce.
And I'm Rob Mudd.
And this is episode number 4.
Can you believe it?
And no, I can't.
I can't either. But the first 3 were so good, we forgot that we had 3.
Well, I think that's right. I think what's happened is that we're backed by popular demand.
There you go. That's exactly right.
Backed by popular demand.
Yes. And the popular demand topic of the day is
Amazon. Is it the next big data heist?
Well, are we going to take turns on this one, or
you know what? I'll let you go first.
So,
what's your understanding of the Amazon deal?
My understanding of what they've told me,
right,
how they use it, is to show attribution for ads that are shown in their network. Mm-hmm. Amazon has about 250 million subscribers to their Amazon portal, right?
Right.
And you have to have a credit card, a name, add all that good stuff.
Yeah.
So pretty much they have everybody in the country that could buy a car.
You would think,
right?
Considerable amount.
And so, in theory, if they have everyone in their database, anyone that comes to your website could be attributed back to Amazon. Fair enough?
Fair, yeah.
Yeah. So that to me is a non-starter. And then secondly, and most importantly, is a non-starter, is the data that they give you back for having the pixel on your site. But by knowing what we know about the pixel data gathering process and what they can obtain, it ain't a good swap. You're giving them way too much information for them to tell you that the person that hit your site is a member of Amazon. It's okay. Ridiculous. I would never, ever do that. It is a theft job of dealers advertising or what or their good name or whatever, their traffic. They're stealing it from you.
Yeah.
And why would you want to do that?
Well, I mean, are they going to let you? Are they going to let you still advertise on their network?
Oh yeah, they'll let you advertise. They
without
just
the pixel.
Without the pixel. You can do it without the pixel.
Then do it without the pixel.
Absolutely, do it without the pixel.
Yeah, I mean, I don't see. I mean, I'm not seeing the upside to having the pixel on there.
Well, I don't think there's any upside to it other than their logic. Mm-hmm. If when you know how many people have Amazon subscriptions, is damn near everybody in the United States. So in theory, then anyone that comes, they'll say, hey, they're customers of ours, and they saw your ad inside their environment. I wouldn't take that for face value, but I wouldn't take any of these black box big tech companies.
Yeah, but what
any of their statements for truth? None of them.
So the question, I think the question I would have is like, okay, big deal. They saw the ad on your website. Okay, did I get the lead from there?
Well, if they attribute back down to when the deals in your DMS and they match back, they're going to match back and say that was a customer.
But when they have to submit the lead, right?
No, not necessarily. No, because they'll know who it is and they'll say, "Hey, that person."
So they're gonna. Let me see if I get this straight. I mean, and your understanding is a little different than mine. You might have more information than I do, but if you're talking about, I'm going to match back a customer.
Yes.
Who was a Amazon customer.
Correct.
They didn't fill out a lead.
No.
They were just on Amazon.
Yes.
They somehow saw something on Amazon that would attribute them to you. So
Correct.
They say.
Right.
And they're gonna then you're supposed to supply back your DMS data to Amazon.
Yes.
And then and Amazon will tell you whether or not they were on their site, and that's
how they explained it to me.
Huh. Let me think about that a minute. No.
Right. That's exactly what I said. And then I went on to say, the pixel business captures more data than you or I or anyone else really needs, right?
Yeah. Well,
so the trade-off here for you to tell me again that the customer saw the ad in our environment, they're a customer of Amazon, that makes this your ad that was placed in our environment responsible or credit, as the credit goes, for a car purchase. And I said, that's just total bullshit, man.
Yeah, I'm out.
Right? And
Based
the
on what
reality
you're telling
is,
me here, I mean, I can't see any reason why. Why would a dealer do this? What?
because they don't know. They don't know.
Okay.
That's if they did know, why would they say yes?
Yeah, I mean, there's no good reason to say yes other than, well, it's Amazon, right? And, as many dealers will hook up and do it because it's Amazon, and they feel like if they do everything Amazon says, they'll get some sort of preferential treatment or get slid in somewhere where above somebody else or something. I don't know.
So what I told these guys, I said, hey,
I mean, what's the charge?
I didn't even get that far because I was so perturbed by the fact that they asked us to do this.
Right.
That it was a non-starter for me.
Huh.
Due to the fact of what Amazon is going to try to do is sell cars online.
Yeah.
With Hyundai, they're doing it right now. Right.
Yeah.
And so
I don't think that's going to work out. But
I don't either, but they, I believe, have access to all of this data of de-anonymizing people that hit your website.
Yeah.
Everyone.
Right.
And so now they'll take, I believe, that list and do what they will with it. Now, they've said that they won't, but do you believe that?
I mean, how would you? They're going to whitewash that,
right?
Thing
Of course,
right. If it makes Amazon money, they're going to do it.
100%. That's their MO.
I mean, they're in business to make money. I don't mind them doing it. I mean, if you go into it, if you're a dealer and you go into this eyes wide open, and you know that this is going to happen, and you're okay with it, and it's your data.
Yeah, then you can do it.
God love you.
Yeah.
But
I don't suggest that you do that.
No, I would never do it if it was my store.
No.
But I mean, I'll advertise where you're at. I'll attribute leads.
Yeah, you can do that.
I'll attribute leads back to you, right?
If it's a lead, I mean, but they're wanting to attribute
I'm only
just
interested
the traffic.
I'm only interested in the lead. I'm interested in the lead from Amazon, right?
Right.
The customer gives me their name, email address, and mobile number, right? And it's an Amazon customer.
Yeah.
I want that.
Yeah, sure.
Right? And I want to be on Amazon. It's because I know there's a lot of people there. They're going to see my ad, just like
maybe.
Maybe just like I'd want to be on CBS. Or whatever, right?
To a certain degree, but CBS isn't harvesting the traffic to your website.
Right. Yeah, I mean, the only difference is they're not taking the customer. Of course, they got the eyeball, but they don't have the customer data. And these guys now have the customer data. They have,
but they're also the guys that says, "Hey, these are in-market shoppers." Right?
Yeah, they're going to be another one of those. They're going to be another one of those. Now, I doubt very seriously. Matter of fact, I'd be willing to bet money that Amazon's not selling the data.
No, I don't think they're selling it.
I mean,
I think
that would be they're going to utilize the data from their standpoint. Yeah. They're going to utilize the data as or monetize that data in a way that benefits something they're going to sell on Amazon. Right?
Maybe I've gotten too what's the word?
Jaded.
Yeah, that's a good word. Skeptic. Of all these big box guys that say that they're going to come in and they're going to do a number on all your marketing and prove to you blah, 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 blah.
Yeah. Now, how do I know that these guys don't turn around and push a Hyundai deal?
I don't know. Or do they push it to the Hyundai OEM? I don't know.
I don't know.
And the answers that they gave to me weren't suffice to jump into that pool of water, so to speak. It wasn't enough. It was, hey, we're just trying to attribute to see if the person that bought the car was a member of Amazon. Okay, well, if that's the only stuff we're going to get back.
Let me help you out with that. Yes. Right.
No.
They were. No, they were all a member of Amazon.
Yeah, exactly.
Everybody is. So I can answer the question for you right now.
Exactly. So, the logic of some of these scenarios that are being painted by the big black boxes of the world, I have a hard time with it. I have a hard time giving these people money and then have to rely on the information they get back as gospel. In the old days, the newspaper guys, they had this issue. they had to have a third party
come in and
audit
verify
their
their circulation for sure.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
But no one's validating Google but Google. No one's validating
Amazon,
Facebook.
but Amazon, right. I mean, just 55 million people saw your ad. Okay, if you say so.
Yeah. But that's the world we live in now, right?
Right.
And the big tech companies did do what they said that they were going to do. They did change the retail automotive ad business or automotive retail business. They have changed it.
Well, they certainly moved the money.
They moved the money, a lot of money, and they changed the lexicon. They changed the language that we focus on today. Instead of the up count, right? We're talking impression count. Well, that's a couple metrics away from the lead.
100%.
Right? And so, I mean, dealers have been hearing this all the time, and I feel bad for them because they get bombarded with all from 360 a different story that says different things. And
you got the manufacturers telling you that the digital is the only way to go, and the digital is everything's digital. Digital.
Well, that's because they're just selling a brand, and if everybody's website looks the same, they're winning.
Yeah, well, right? I mean, there is that, right?
That's all there is.
Yeah, they're pushing the digital marketing thing. They've been pushing the digital marketing thing. I'm not saying that's a bad thing. I'm just saying that's what they're doing.
Well, I think it's a good thing for them, for the OEM, if they can own everyone's website looks the same.
Yeah. Well, but right? You think about if you go back to like 1985, manufacturers our dealers didn't really advertise much.
They controlled the groups, the tier 2 stuff. Right?
Yeah, they did a lot of tier 2 stuff because TV was very expensive. Yep. Newspaper was very expensive. If you did do anything, you did something in the newspaper. You might have did some direct mail here and there, but your advertising budget was really around, somewhere around $200 a car. Yeah, all in.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And then
$250 at max.
Then somewhere along around about in the mid 90s, and there was this push, and all of a sudden dealers, I almost feel like the manufacturers had some play in getting the dealers to spend more money on marketing, on advertising.
Remember, NADA always would come out with the annual breakdown of dealer ad budget. How they get there.
Right.
I think I have one of those pie charts from like 1995 or 94, and it shows predominance is print.
Right.
65%.
Newspaper was like the big one.
It was everything, right? And then you had TV and radio in there.
And direct mail was in there like a 12%.
And now what has changed, obviously, is digital has replaced
the newspaper.
The newspaper.
Right, and TV.
And TV.
Oh, yeah.
And to some degree, radio.
Right.
And to me, it's a shame that the radio people, and specifically the radio people, have not been able to come up with a measuring tool like Google Analytics of some sort to show the relevance of their power, of their tool.
Sure.
I still believe in radio, right? And I don't believe in it just to say I believe in it. I believe in it because we have ran campaigns that have produced results with radio, not as the standalone, but we would add a secondary and a tertiary media. They work. It's got reach. It's got frequency. That's why they build radios in cars, which they'd like to get rid of. Some OEMs or would like to.
Yeah. But now you got Apple and Spotify, and that's starting to cause problems, just like cable caused problems for TV.
So, but in the cable world, let's focus on that.
Right.
So the app business has come on strong, and everybody says that that audience is moving. It is, but there's still about 45% of the population, give or take markets, that still have cable. So are you telling me that you're going to forgo the 45% to get the 55 that are on apps?
Oh, no, not
right.
sure.
But you'd be amazed.
But you'd be amazed. I mean, I am shocked at even myself when I think about it, how much app I watch and how much normal I guess you'd call it direct TV or
Yeah.
cable TV, right? I probably put more into, and still considerably more myself into if I am watching TV, which I rarely watch TV, but if I'm watching TV and it's just on, then I'm probably just in direct. But but when I specifically want to go watch something,
you're
I'm
on
going
that.
to the app. But I'm not doing. There's no commercials.
No,
in that.
and that's because the app works around your schedule,
Right.
You watch stuff when you want on demand.
Right.
That makes sense to me. The way I watch television is I still watch local news
Yeah.
because I like the local sports and
Sure.
like to know what goes on. So your viewing habits are behavioral, right? Whatever you do, you have a pattern, you do it.
Right.
That is what you have to, I think today that you have to understand is that people have patterns, and their patterns are pretty much locked in. Covey used to say in his 7 Habits of Highly Effective People that it takes 21 days to create a new habit. Well, what's the worst day of working out? Not the first one. That's a good day. The second one, it's like day 16 and 17.
Sure.
But if you don't get through the 21 days, you're not going to create that habit. And so people fall off the log somewhere in between there, right? And so whatever pattern they have created for themselves really is not going to change much.
Yeah.
And
I
that
agree
to
with
me makes a lot of sense. I mean, it doesn't just make a lot of sense. It is truth. I mean, we all wake up, not everybody, but you get what I'm saying, of our patterns of time and consumption. And today with lists and how lists can drive the target more, not just with mail, but can do it in digital, and digital with CTV can get you into broadcast. I'm of the belief today that you shouldn't do anything without a list, an audience, and where you get that first party, or you're getting it from a list provider within a certain radius. That to me is the real gold.
Right, but then and at that point, then the media, whether it's DSP or radio or television or whatever, just becomes the channel.
Yeah, the channel.
Yeah. I'm not using it to target. I'm not targeting around the 6 o'clock news. I'm targeting this person at this, with this message.
Exactly, and it will find them.
Yeah. And then but I think that's the thing, so to do Amazon or not do Amazon
Isn't really the
question. I think it's got to be a part of your mix and part of your DSP. So
possibly,
I think I mean, if I'm looking at anything and I'm saying that there's anything I'm going to make sure is a part of my DSP mix, right? It's going to be Amazon. Because I know for a fact there are people there, right? When you just throw stuff online, when you got Google ads throwing stuff up on blogs and everything, I don't know who these people are. I don't want that. I mean, and then when you're talking about Facebook. Again, if it's not a list, if I'm not targeting exact that person, then I might you might get a little bit better out of Facebook. But if I'm targeting this person, and I'm doing it through an email matched list or hashed list, then I'm doing it probably on Amazon, probably on Facebook. Then I might sprinkle some Google in there, a little bit of Google in there if I can get it right. And then but what's funny to me about these DSPs and where Amazon I think should shine is in remarketing. Right?
Yeah.
I want to catch you on Amazon after you've been to my website. I want to catch you on Facebook after you've been to my website. For sure, those things. And what's funny to me is none of these DSPs really do that. The remarketing side that's not what they're working on.
Well, because you can only buy Amazon through one of their preferred vendors, right? And so you can't just get on a DSP and buy Amazon. You got to do it through their preferred guys, right?
Right.
So that is. You got to use a different way to get to the audience, and that's
I would want a remarketing side.
Right, that makes sense.
No, I would definitely want that. I would want a remarketing side. Facebook remarketing, rocks it for us.
Well, because the cookies are going away, so you almost have to rely on a closed ecosystem like Amazon or a Facebook to retarget anyone,
Right.
Because you're not going to be able to do it the way that we've been doing it in the past. Right?
Sure.
And why is that? Why is that? Again, I get back to you've got retailers working in a data world. The data guys are always going to out data the retail guys. Always. 100% always.
They're always fun. They're trying to figure out something, some angle.
An angle,
Yeah.
right? The dealer's trying to sell a car.
Sure.
The providers are trying to figure out an angle to sell you something new that you didn't have before.
Right.
That you supposedly need.
Yeah, this is the new targeting, the super secret sauce
right.
way that we know about because only we are the best technological people.
Says
know about.
who?
Yeah,
says them.
Says us. Yeah,
Correct.
Of course says us. Why not? So at the end, at the end of the day, I'd say it's got to be in my mix. I would do it as long as, again, I could get my lead cost right and the leads are performing.
Yeah.
So leads are coming down. They're being connected with those connections are showing up at the store. The ones that are showing up at the store are buying. If it meets that criteria and it's I'm making money on I'm getting an ROI on my spend.
Yeah.
Then why wouldn't I do?
You would.
But and they've got people.
Right? They have a lot of people. You do.
Right.
Absolutely do.
Yeah. So
their way of measurement to me is just a little suspect. Or maybe it's not the way they measure. It's what I think that everybody's trying to screw the car guy.
Yeah, well,
right?
I mean, that's true.
They're all trying to take their dough, right?
Yeah.
And they don't know whether to shit or go blind sometimes because they got a 360 coming at them. And so the one nugget that I would say take away from these conversations is that you can get a list, and that list can generate across all channels.
Back to the CDP. Everything just keeps coming back that way,
Yeah.
But yeah, you're right. I mean, I would definitely not want to target anywhere that I didn't have I wasn't supplying the audience,
Correct.
and I want you to hit my audience,
Yes.
right?
Yep. Yep.
But the remarketing based upon a device fingerprint or a matchback on there, I think they could definitely do that, and I would encourage Amazon do that. Remarketing on your website will be much more effective than just throwing up an ad, right?
Yeah.
Also, from a standpoint of the whole Amazon Hyundai thing and selling cars online, I don't think dealers should worry. I mean, I just don't see. I don't see Amazon.
Amazon are category killers, man. That's what they do. They kill categories. Now, I'm not saying they're going to kill that category of selling cars.
Yeah, the car deal is always the problem is, and the problem Hyundai had, or not Hyundai, but Carvana had to solve was for how do I get these cars registered? How do I get the title work? Because the title work's still not digital. Still very manual. That's a government thing. They don't move real quick.
Maybe Doge will get to them.
Yeah. I think they're last. I think they're way low on Doge's list.
Maybe they should. The new way of retiring government-wise, they need to get down to the title and tag.
Yeah, man. I don't know.
Just kidding.
Yeah, I mean that's that. I don't think Doge is looking to make car titling efficient right now. I think that's probably last on the list.
If even on the list. Probably not make that.
Yeah, we could tweet it. We could tweet it or send an X to Elon. See what he says. See if we can get any feedback there. But so again, I think in this tactically, yes, come back to definitely consider. You got to consider Amazon. Do you tactically want to put their pixel on your website? Absolutely not. I just don't. We're not seeing the value there.
No. But their live sports is definitely. I mean, that's, the best
for sure.
part is live sports.
No doubt. They're getting into the entertainment world
business,
hard and heavy,
and it's the right place to be because it's live.
Live, yes, 100%. So I think those are your tactical takeaways when it comes to Amazon. Is it a data heist? Amazon's got a lot of data, so I'm going to call it a heist.
They do.
But let's put it this way: they probably aren't doing anything nefarious with the data.
No, I'm not suggesting
and they're probably not, not as nefarious, certainly, as other providers in this industry and what they are nefariously doing with your data. But they've already got all the data, and for you to swap it with them, there's no value for the dealer there. There's just,
No.
If there was value, it would be worth doing, but there's just not any. Now, hey, Amazon, you want to up your list of customers, trade lists? Sure.
Yeah, they're not going to do that.
I just don't see them. I don't see them seeing the humor in that.
No, they're probably not watching. That's for sure.
Yeah, probably not.
On the first three web shows that we've done, we haven't told people how they can send questions to us.
Oh yeah, that we haven't, and you're right. You can so you just we don't have really a website up like.
Oh well, then they can't, right?
The dealer said, yeah, we don't have a gain and retain or retain and gain website up, but maybe we need to go. We have a retain and gain Facebook page.
There you go.
You can go there.
Or, but yeah. we will.
We'll put up a site.
We'll put up a site. We'll have to.
Yeah, we'll put up a site for retaining gain, sure.
Because we want to take questions, and that's the beauty of all these web shows that we do.
Yeah,
is taking the questions.
Yeah,
and hopefully we can give answers to them.
Yeah. One day we might have a live call-in show.
That's not. I've had some guys suggest to us them as guests on our show, which could be really interesting as well.
Yeah, we're definitely going to be having some guests to the show, both in DealerCast and retaining gain. I think the dealers are definitely the very best source for what's going on. We sit up here and we pontificate, but I don't have stores anymore, and Rob doesn't have stores.
I don't have stores,
so we're not in it day to day. We just but that we do have.
But we understand.
Yeah, well, you get a perspective. You're in it day to day. You're so busy working in it, you can't work on it. And we're able to be outside and take a look, and from a unique digital perspective, I think that's the one thing that concerns me the most about the car world is how much people are trying to basically heist every dealer's data. Everybody wants that data
because it's people that are shopping. Right. Yeah. And everything rolls downhill from a home, a car, and everything's downstream from there. Mm-hmm. Right. And so if you can figure out how to, do the car because they transact much more frequently than a home buy. Right.
Sure.
And if you can figure that out, you can downstream it. That's why it's so impactful.
Yeah. I mean, so that's the gain or retain and gain show for number 4, quick and dirty on Amazon. Is it the next data heist? Probably not.
But don't give them your
data.
Right? Yeah, they don't need it. They have their own.
Yes. So if you want to get a hold of Rob, you can get a hold of Rob at mud.com, right?
Yep. Or you can call me at 800-367-6833.
Yep. Or you can get a hold of me at Larry at bdcbox.com.
Well, y'all, thank you for showing up again. We'll talk to you again soon.
See you later.
Bye-bye.
Thanks, guys.